Good evening and welcome to Between the Lanes episode number 70. I'm Ron.
I'm Shane.
I'm Walker.
And I'm Russell.
Russell Martin is a special guest tonight on the show. Hey, this is the first four-person show, I think. Yeah.
First foursome. Proud to be a part of it.
Wow.
The fantastic.
Okay, we're jumping right into it.
Yeah.
I'm outnumbered by the Southerners. Okay, so who got snow this last weekend?
You got what?
No.
I did.
Oh,
Walker,
yeah.
you didn't get much. You got a couple inches there, didn't you, in Charlotte?
We got like 6 or 7.
Yeah, we got about a foot,
Cool.
which is nuts here.
Timmy got like a foot, I think.
Yeah.
I got about 3 inches of rain.
Okay, moving on. We don't need to be talking about inches.
Play that beautiful bean footage, Ron.
Welcome to Between the Lanes, episode number 70. I gotta find my arrow. Find us on YouTube, Slot Racers, the channel. Now we're up to 70 episodes, along with some how-to articles and other special shows from the past. Find us on Facebook. Between the Lanes is the name of the page. And we're going to get into race results from last weekend, the winning reports. We'll start off with the Turkey Nats, which is drag race in the past history. Rick Blackson created the race and always hosted the race down around the Dayton, Ohio area and down around the Cincinnati area, and the track was closed and sold. And so the Turkey Nats got split into two deals, bracket and index, and then class racing. So a couple weeks ago on the show, we had the brackets and the index results from Race-O-Rama up in North Baltimore, Ohio, where they moved that portion of the race to. And this last weekend, the class portion was down at Big Charlie's Garage, which is a new raceway owned by Joe Bohannon. And they ran all the class rules, USDRA rules. And I don't have any pictures, sorry, but none was posted. But in top stock, the winner and runner-up was Brad Fink. In stock, the winner was Joey Newbern, and the runner-up was Junior. Super stock, the winner was Brad Fink, and runner-up was Mario Leo. And Econo Pro Stock, the winner was Junior, runner-up was Brad Fink. Factory Modified was won by Joey Newbern with Mario, the runner-up. Pro Mod was again won by Joey Newbern, who Joey had a pretty good weekend here. So the runner-up was Todd McMillan. MMPS, which I think is a Pro Stock class. The winner was Joe Bohannon, and runner-up was Joey Newbern. A Funny Car, Joe Bohannon was the winner. Runner-up was Brad Fink. And the VRPS class, Ken Handy Jr. was the winner with Ken Handy Sr., the runner-up. In the XPM class, Ken Handy Jr. was the winner with Joey Newbern, the runner-up. VX Funny Car, the winner was Joe Bohannon. Runner-up was Rick Blackson. And the AA Funny Car, the winner was Ken Haney Jr. with the runner-up Junior. They had 192 cars total. Some seem to think class racing's making a comeback. I guess time will tell. I don't really follow drag racing enough to know. But seems to be a pretty decent amount of cars for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a dozen or so classes. So Florida Slot Car Series was at Fast Eddie's in Pinellas Park, Florida. And in the 4-inch stock car class, or NASCAR class as they call it, in Group 1, Aaron Rothstein was your winner, Brian Ambrose second, Marcus Ramos third. And then in Group 2, Ralph Josie was the winner, John Putnam was second, and Daniel Lombardi was third. In the LMP Group 1, Aaron Rothstein doubled up with the second win of the day. Fast Eddie Hoffman was second, track owner, and third was Doc Doherty. And LMP Group 2, Carl Peters was your winner, Mike Mock was second, Daniel Lombardi was third. And DTM Group 1, Brian Ambrose was your winner, Marcus Ramos second, Terry Tawney third. And in DTM Group 2, Mike Mock was the winner, Ralph Josie was second, Carl Peters was third. Sorry, guys, we didn't have any photos of any podiums, so congratulations. Last weekend was the German Open at Frabels in Brühl, Germany. This probably qualifies as the most beautiful raceway in the world, or, you know, at least in Europe for sure. So this is one shot. I don't know what view or what corner we're in, but the raceway also has like a full bar. It has a kitchen.
There's me right there, buddy.
And of course they have a Blue King track. And what I found kind of unique was about this race. I don't know if they did it in all classes, but they spun this wheel of doom, as I call it, for what lane they were going to qualify on. So I believe all 8 lanes. Yeah, all 8 lanes are in there, and they spin that, and wherever it stops, that's the qualifying lane for that particular class. So
I don't know if it's just me, but it looks like white and red are on there more than the other.
I kind of like
purple and black too.
Well, if you look up here at the top where it stopped on white, like there's black, and you go a couple more, there's black. You go a couple more, there's black.
Orange is on there 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the idea. I love it. I thought it was awesome.
So, not all the lanes are on there in the equal amount. I guess they I know that a couple classes actually qualified on purple, and I'm pretty sure 27 light they qualified on white.
Yes.
I don't know about the other classes, but
Gabby said that. I was talking to her.
So in the Group 12 class, Jan Gotthard was the winner. Gabriella Tornfelt was second, and Chris Doucette was third.
He runs a lot.
Chris Doucette?
No, Jan.
Oh, Jan.
He ran everywhere at the Nazareth. He was running from the track to just running constantly.
Okay.
He's intense.
Yeah. 27 light. Hiko Thinschmidt was your winner. Assy was second, and Ulf was third. And then in Group 27 Pro, Ulf was the winner. Christian Meyer was second. Andre was third. In 2-motor open, I don't have a picture. This is not the picture of 2-motor open, but this is 1-motor open, and I have no names for this picture. There was the picture was posted, no name.
I love his shirt.
Yeah. And then in 2-motor open, the pick. Rainier was the winner. Andre was second, and Vlado Kali was third.
Pretty sure that's a Gugu inspired shirt.
Oh, it is. He has that shirt. I've seen him wear it before.
But
That's
there's no fingernail polish on it, so how could it be good?
Oh, tell me you got that picture.
So, yeah, I do, but I didn't. So the AWRA was going to have the Santa Showdown at Staunton Miniature Speedway, Staunton, Virginia, and I don't know. Apparently, the ho 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 might have became no because of snow. I mean, there was no results posted, and I don't know. Oh, Russ is like, I don't know. So I don't know if they had a race or not. You guys know if they got a lot of snow up that way, or?
I don't know.
I didn't see they did, but I didn't see them post if they canceled the race. But Stanton definitely got a lot of snow.
Okay, so maybe let's put it this way: if the results come up this week, we'll have them on next week's show. So the NERR, the New England Retro Racing Group, was at Bristol 1010 Raceway in Bristol, Connecticut. In the stock car class, Dominic Luongo was your winner. Keith Libby second. Vinny Cafazzo in third. And then Can-Am, Keith Libby was your winner. Gary Clinton Jr. was second, and Vinny Cafazzo was third. Penn Ohio Retro Series was at Northeast Raceway, Erie, Pennsylvania. F1 was no pictures. F1 was won by Steve Plosnick. Dan Ebert second. Aaron Plosnick was third. Can-Am, Ricky Bernardo Jr. won. Dan Ebert second. Steve Plosnick third. And stock cars, Steve Plosnick was your winner. Dan Ebert second. Bob Stanley third. Mid-American Hard Body Slot Car Club was at Mid-America Naperville. And no pictures of those guys, but Hobby Stock was won by Dennis Clark with Daryl Olson second, and Aiden was third. Super Stock was won by Rick Stegan, J.P. Milcherska second, Neil Eisler third. And Pro Stock, Neil Eisler was the winner. J.P. Milcherska was second. Rick Stegan was third. And the Central Illinois Slot Series was at Mid-America Bloomington, Illinois. And they raced the hard bodies and the Can-Am on the Midwest Monster Flat Track, and we ran 4.5-inch stock car and GTP on the hill climb there. So in the FCR class, well, as we've said on the show before, in the hard body class, they run two classes as one combined race. And the FCR portion, which they have to run FCR chassis, Ken Williams was the winner. Toby Kindig was second, and Randy Lynn was third. And then in the Mid-American hard body portion of those rules, Kurt Vincent was the winner, PJ Baltz was second, and Dave Fugate was third. And the overall was Ken Williams, your winner, Kurt Vincent second, and Toby Kindig third. And they were all like separated by a lap or two. Can-Am, Ken Williams doubled up on the flat track with a win in Can-Am. Second was Toby, and Brian Wallig was third. In the 4.5-inch stock car class, I was the winner, and Ken Williams on the right side of the screen there, he was second, and Toby Kindig was third. And then GTP, I was the winner, Ken Williams was second, and surprise, Dan Van Horn was third. Funny shot there, I guess. So, and then the SCRA was in action at Buena Park Raceway on the flat track. F1 was won by Dale Yamashita, Brian Warmack second, Gary Donahoe was third. And in Can-Am, we had Dale Yamashita completing the sweep with Warmack completing the sweep for second. And Mill Conroy was third. And there was a race. There was the Northern California Series was in action last weekend. I didn't get any report on that yet, so we'll cover that on next week's show. And that's your winner chicken dinner reports. And
Sunday.
wow, some man with enthusiasm. So this weekend we have the Mid-South race at Mocksville, North Carolina. Turn and Burn, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Turn and Burn Raceway.
Woohoo!
I almost said Crash and Burn, but I was thinking it's Turn and Burn. And we got the JPM Hard Body Series at Pro Slot Raceway this weekend. And the Ohio Challenge Cup is at HMS in Bellevue, Ohio this weekend. And also this weekend is the NASCAR Christmas Tree 400 at Slot Cars Russ, White House, Tennessee. And they posted pictures of the 3 TVs today on Facebook. I seen that, but
Are they Vizio?
yeah. And another race that was announced today. This is a drag race, the Ultimate Winter Challenge 4. It'll be at Innovative Slots in Indianapolis, Indiana, the weekend of January 10th through the 12th, 2019. $295 weekend entry. $20,000 in cash and prizes. So
Wow.
and they're racing, I guess, these 3 or 4 classes.
What time you picking me up at the airport?
You got a drag car?
We will.
Okay. On the move.
No,
So well, I don't know what they call this. I remember visiting the Race Place Raceway down in Daytona Beach, Florida, back in the 90s when this was just a big oval before they added the infield section of this track.
Really? So it wasn't built like that?
No, it was not built like that originally. It was
Okay.
just a straight up huge tri-oval. And
Bobby loves that track. I say
That's
that
beautiful.
sarcastically.
okay, so the race place is closed, and this track is now going to go to the Viper Pit in Thomasville, Georgia.
Been
And
there.
that will give Thomasville, Georgia, the Viper Pit 4 tracks because they have like an orange track and an Engelman and a King track.
Yep.
And I thought you guys had an oval track with an infield like this or something similar
Yeah.
down your way.
Yeah, it's in
Oh, yeah.
Salmon.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it kind of identical to this or a little different?
It's close.
A
It
little
doesn't
bit
have the,
different.
It doesn't have the little kink.
The kink
And-
in the middle straightaway there, it's straight. Otherwise, it's
Right
the
here?
same. Yeah.
Or this King?
And
No,
yeah,
no.
that one. Yeah, and the
I'm all
tri-oval
pointing like you can
portion-
see where I'm pointing.
The tri-oval portion was in between the two railroad sections, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. So that's on the move. And Atlanta Raceway today is they're welcoming the arrival of their new Tunkel-built oval track. Speedville in Peoria, Illinois is back open with an oval track, and Randy, the owner, is looking to put in a small hill climb. And Port Jeff, the King track there, was just recently rebraided, rerouted, all kind of flattened out and adjusted and tweaked on, and some new wiring connections and stuff. And they say that Port Jeff King is pretty fast now. So there's some updates on what's going on with raceways and tracks out there. So next week we're going to have the Christmas giveaways. Working on a lot of companies to donate stuff. And what we're going to do for that is tonight when the show is over, you'll know this. Well, just go to Between the Lanes on Facebook, and there will be a post regarding the Christmas giveaways, and you need to like it or maybe put your name down, and then all those people who like it and put their name down will be put in the bucket for the Christmas stuff. So, but anyway, so I was at the race CIS race last weekend, and Dave Van Horn had contacted, not Dave, that's his dad, Dan Van Horn. He had contacted me a while back about painting some bodies and giving them away on a future episode of the show. And didn't see anything. And then at the race, he's like, oh, hey, by the way, I got something for you. So he comes over and he gives me this body. He says, here, this is for you.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm like, thanks, but like I won't race that. That's just too nice to race. Like that would go home and go up on my shelf. And he goes, well, you could probably give away on the show. I said, yeah, let's do that. So I have the body here. I'll show you here in a minute. And then he also gave me the Big Johnson body to give away next week. So,
Oh, yeah. That's me right there, buddy.
I missed that trailer at the NASCAR races.
oh, do you?
Yeah.
And so that's all I got for right now. But so anyway, I don't know if this is going to show up, but that's like, I mean, he posted some pictures on Facebook, but the photos just really don't do this body any justice.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That is
Yeah.
nice. That's all paint too.
All paint, yeah. And then it comes with an interior. I don't know.
Wow.
You got the
That's
chrome.
great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You get that, you're automatically winning concourse.
And then there's
Whoever
Yeah.
wins by
there's old Big Johnson.
Big Johnson.
Big Johnson. So those will be given away. And I know Mid-America's putting stuff in. Out of Sight's putting stuff in. I think RM's going to put some stuff in.
I'll put some stuff in.
Port City's going to put some stuff in. I think I'm working on Mazzetti and Pro Slot and a few others. So
I don't really know if it's going to be stuff, but we'll talk about it.
okay. And then I've got some things that were never claimed. We're going to give those away. So and going forward, we'll have a policy. If you don't claim your race prize or your, I shouldn't call it a race prize, but your giveaway sweepstakes within so many days or weeks, then it'll go back in the pot for a future show. So, and I also have a Shinoda reunion poster to give away next week too. So we'll have all,
Autographed.
we'll have all pictures of this stuff hopefully for next week's show. So at the beginning of the show, we'll go through it.
Sounds
Nice.
like fun.
Very nice. Anybody got any topics they want to bring up?
Want to
Come
talk
on,
about
somebody-
brushes?
Oh, you want to talk about brushes?
Can.
We can. Is that going to be our technical issue of the week?
We got all kinds of technical issues.
Oh.
We got technical issues and we have non-technical issues.
All right. So Shane wants to talk about motor brushes.
Yep. Where do I start? So I have been told from people that they never run the same. They try multiple pairs of brushes and motors, and they generally keep the ones that pull the most amps in that motor because they're generally the better brush.
Okay.
I haven't field tested it yet. I've bench tested it. Hopefully, I will field test it this weekend. I'm still not 100% on that,
Okay.
so we'll see.
Okay.
But I did notice a variance in brushes as far as you put one pair in a motor and it was 2 amps. Take that out, put another pair, 2.5, take those out, put another pair, it's 4 amps.
Okay.
All radius. You know, on the Turtle, COM was 193. The brushes were radius to 193. You know, like we talked off the show, sometimes you got to let them break in a little bit. But like I would put them in, run them for 2 minutes, look at the amps, and I had one magical pair out of the 6 pair that I tried to pull 4 amps. So
Okay. So, okay, you're putting, and we talked about this pre-show a little bit, but then I was thinking, so if I put a pair of brushes in my motor, and say it pulls 2 amps, and I pulled another set in and it pulls 4 amps, should I not, on that set that pulls 4 amps, maybe take one brush out and put another brush in?
see, I thought about that too, because
And
it was
see
like, what if
that
this?
changes, if anything?
Right. Yeah. Because I talked about that some today on one of my delivery trips. And I had coffee, so I was chatty.
Okay.
So,
So you're going to maybe race this weekend and test this and report back next week?
yes.
This is like your homework assignment for the week?
Yeah. I gave myself some, I haven't had homework in a while, so I gave myself some homework.
Okay.
And I could also possibly take the pair of brushes that pulled less amps, break those in, and have both pair. I just
Right.
don't know how much time I will have.
Right.
And do, you know what I mean? Kind of back-to-back test. All right, well, these pulled a lot of amps to this, you know.
Right. And you got a little thermometer thing for the motor, check the heat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you could do that.
Yep. See if it variance in heat.
That's your assignment, Professor.
Go gadget. See, I've been radius and brushes. The thumb tells no lies.
Well, he was
Now-
doing pre-show.
Now, here's my question. Have you tried different brands of brushes in the same motor?
No, I've always ran Coford Bigfoot 2 brushes.
Yeah.
You got yelled at, didn't you, Walker?
No, actually, Byron just walked in, I guess, and Dad opened the door and Byron peeked his head over.
See you in action.
Byron
'Cause I think
does not
you
peak
should include
anywhere.
I think you should include different brands in this test.
I'm a
That's a
Coford guy.
lot.
Well, I don't have any Coford brushes in my box.
I will say this is a problem that Justin had with his Eurosport motors. He had some Bigfoot brushes, and he did all of his motors for the Worlds with Bigfoot brushes. And he gets to the Worlds, and they all suck.
Right.
So then he takes all the motors apart, puts all new brushes in them all, cuts all the commutators and everything. Yeah, he cut all the comms.
Yep.
And he goes back and only half of his motors were any good. The rest of them still sucked. So then the ones that still sucked, he put a different kind of brush in. I don't remember which one he said he put in, and they ran better. So he thinks that there might be a bad batch or something of Bigfoot brushes that he just got the bad end of. Because
And I've
years
heard they've
ago-
changed the compound some too.
Again, the Cofords. Oh, the Cofords out.
Yeah.
Ron probably knows this. They've changed compounds in those 3-4 times since
Yeah.
the earthquake.
Just once that I know of.
Just once.
But the problem with brushes is brushes are made out of a big, like, imagine going into a factory. Because I went to Kirkwood one time and watched motor brushes being made. So you have all these piles of what look like dirt, but that's all the different components.
compounds.
Like there's copper and there's graphite and there's other binder materials. And they shovel into like a cement mixer, 2 scoops of this, scoop of that, scoop of this, and they mix it. And then it gets pressed into the die. Comes out of the die and then it goes to the oven when it gets sent, it gets centered, fired, centered. That's what makes the brush to keep the brush from crumbling apart. So like motor brushes can be inconsistent. I think it's more has more to do with the mixture because from what I seen, it was not a precise science. It's like
it's kind of like mixing mortar.
Well, it's like going into mom's kitchen and she says, "Well, here's a pinch of salt." Well, her pinch of salt would be bigger or smaller than Sue's, and they both make it the same, but it tastes different. It's so. Yeah, I mean, there can be some from batch to batch. There can be inconsistencies. I will give you that because from what I've seen here, it is not a precise science.
And see, same thing at the Flexi Flats, the Group 12 or GT12 that we ran.
Okay.
2 of my motors, because Roger ran one of my cars, and I obviously raced my own car. But I noticed that, like on Roger's motor that I built, it had Cofer brushes in it, and the positive brush was about gone.
Same as the motor I ran at Bobby's. It was the same way.
Yeah, I remember it was another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then another motor that I bought at an eBay sale from Kevin, that was the motor I raced. Brushes were fine.
And both motors have the same brand of brushes?
Well, I think Kevin's motor has the Bigfoot 2 brushes, but obviously it's a different batch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just like, That's whenever I thought, like you said, Russell, maybe putting the Pro Slot Group 7 brush on the positive side, since it's a harder compound, to see if that would help.
I always thought
good.
Put the Pro Slot brush on the negative side and the Cofer brush on the positive side because, like, it's opposite of how the brushes are. Like,
Gugu and I talked about this at 2 different races at Tracy's. He said, don't run the new Pro Slot Group 7 brushes. And then I ran an entire 27 light race and ran 955 laps on the same motor. And there was still brush to spare, plenty. But in the Group 7s, they were overheating the comms. So who knows? They're inconsistent. And, knowing what you just said, Ron, that explains a lot.
And another thing, I mean, first of all, the Pro Slot brushes are different compound than the Cofer brushes to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay. And then spring tension will play into it too because back when the Pro Slot Gold Dust first came out, a lot of guys didn't like them, but they found out over time if you ran more spring tension with the Pro Slot Gold Dust, it was actually better than the Bigfoot brush, which back then it was Mirror Bigfoots. But Mirror Bigfoots, Cofer Bigfoots are the same brush, except for when Mirror lost the Bigfoot deal, they brought out a different brush and they still called it Bigfoot, but it was not Bigfoots. It was something that just didn't work. So, yeah, spring tension can play a part of it too.
Yeah.
So, when I first started building motors, those are the brushes I used was the Pro Slot.
Yeah, the Gold Dust brushes pre-earthquake were great.
Yeah.
Pre-earthquake were great.
Pre-earthquake.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I used Pro Slots in all my 16D motors, and I ran Cofords in all my C-can setups. Now I run Cofords and everything.
Yep, because after the earthquake, the Coford brush, when it came back and the Pro Slot brush came back, the Coford brush was way better. But now the G7 brushes are out. Okay, so like ProSlot kind of has two brushes, G7 and then the
They
non-G7.
had an episode too of what Copeland having a soft center, and the brushes were chrome.
Yeah, I never seen that, but
Yeah, because that's what I think that's what Bobby was asking me. He was like, "Hey, do you think this?" And I'm like, "It's hard to say how long these brushes sit, you know." So
okay. So we'll expect a full report next Wednesday.
Yeah. Written notes and everything. Better have a whole page
I-
essay.
The dog better not eat your homework.
Yeah.
I might spill beer on it, but I ain't got to worry about a dog.
Well, don't get no food stains on there.
Don't let George get near it. He'll eat it.
Yeah. I might, even if I don't race, I still might bring that motor. I don't know. Do you have motors, Walker?
What?
You
Well,
have.
I mean,
He got all excited. He's like, "Huh?"
Yeah,
Motors?
I have motors. They're not great, but I have motors. Yeah.
What's the rent? What's the rental charge?
He'll help me on my assignment. I'll be your crew chief. Just don't
Guinea
talk me
pig.
to
Sounds
death
fun.
and wear me out.
Guinea pig.
Yeah.
Okay, so Walker, you got anything you want to bring up?
I want to know why your hat's still straight.
It's actually not. It's kind of curved. It's not.
No.
completely
Looks like it's
flat.
kind of curved up.
No, it's not. It's just the way it sits on my head.
It's not very aerodynamic.
I'm gonna have to wear a hat and glasses next time.
If
next show.
I wear my hat like this, it's really aerodynamic because it has like a huge wing on the back. See,
Look
I have
like
a
the
ton
little
of
Honda
downforce
Civic.
now.
You ever seen back in my Russell? We're close in age. Remember the import days when everyone was putting the duckbill spoilers on the Honda hatchback Civics?
Yes.
Well, it still goes on today.
I've
What are you
seen
talking
that.
about?
Yeah.
Well,
I
yeah,
see it
that's
all the
true.
time.
I can't make fun of it because I had one, but it's one of those deals. If I had the money that I spent on that car doing all that stuff, I could be racing Group 7.
I don't know.
Money on it.
You got nothing, Walker?
Not really.
How's the track coming along?
It's coming pretty good.
The time's ticking, tick tick.
Yeah, I know. Tick, tick, tick.
Fastly approaching.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to
Dad's
test the week before?
what?
Are you going to be able to test the week before?
Yeah,
What do you think it'll be done by January 1st?
it should be.
Okay, that's fair.
What's
As
your
long as the
percentage?
track dries fast or as long as the paint dries. Gotta wait for the paint dry.
Great guy.
Well, I heard him
Yeah.
sanding earlier. When is the painting supposed to begin?
Whenever it's done sanded.
Probably tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it. I love that track.
We gotta route all of where all the seams are because, of course, he sanded the seams down so they're smooth, and so now we got to reroute it there because a few places it's a little higher in the braid. So
Okay.
yeah,
Take your
I can't
time.
wait
Get it
to
right.
come back. I just want another pork chop.
Oh no, from across the street.
I went to there's a place called Frank's down the road, and we had hot dogs from there today. Yeah, amazing. Hot
Where is it?
dogs and
Can you
pretzels,
walk?
amazing. Yeah, you can walk there.
Yeah,
Right down
That's one thing for people coming to the Nats. There are tons of places to eat. You could eat a different place every meal, and you won't eat at all of them, and they're all within walking distance.
well,
I
you know
love
what?
it.
You could go to the Italian place and eat different every day for 7 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or the Cuban place, or the grill, or the French place closed down. The French place closed down. So
I
that's
never went to the French. Where's there's a breakfast place. Where's that breakfast place at?
Ellie's. Ellie's is on the other side of the skank bar. Or no, there's there's
Roger's
a
place.
bar. Yeah. There's the skate bar, and then there's there's like a guitar place, and then here's Ellie's. And then right beside
next to the guitar place?
yeah.
I remember the
And
guitar.
then
I remember walking by.
and Ellie's and a winery are in the same building. And so like left side door is the winery, right side door is Ellie's.
I don't drink.
I just love how now it's known as a skank bar. Like,
I don't even know what the name of the place really is.
I don't know. It's Little Roberts. That's what it's called. Little Roberts.
yeah, I like skank bar better. I just
Yeah,
like,
skate
Yep.
part's way better.
so
I haven't ever been. I've never been.
skank bar. You can go down and watch babies be breastfed in the.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was what, episode 68.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked in, looked over there. She's like, Mama.
So Frank's is a hot dog place. See, I always had this idea years ago. You got Hooters for the men.
Mhm.
I just thought, well, let's open a place for women called Big Frank's. Okay.
Big.
And you'd have, the 6 inchers and you have the 12 inchers and in a bun, out of a bun. And then, you could have other
Wow.
food too. But yeah,
boy.
topless male servers, and they bring it out of service around a tray and kind of carry it down by their hips, So, yeah, Big Frank's.
They can
You have
carry
put a
it
lot of thought into this.
I like
Yeah.
Big Johnson's. Yeah, be a hot dog place. Big Frank.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Christmas box. What's in the box?
Yeah. So, you got anything, Russ, you want to bring up?
Sure, why not?
Here we go.
Elephant in the room, at least for us going to the USRA Nats. What's up with rules and things that are supposed to be changing, and are certain chassis going to be legal or not legal due to price restrictions? Waiting for all of that to materialize. I'm anxiously waiting.
Yeah, I think everybody is, or a lot of people are. I mean, there's a lot of issues on the table there with USRA, like, there's no list of approved products, which should have been out October 1st or shortly after. Again, the rule book not being on time is really not. I think having a list of the approved products is more important than the rule book.
I want to know if the HP setups are legal or not, because I like them. I think they look good.
Because first of all, no rules changed. I mean, you guys didn't vote on anything in Texas, did you, for wing cars?
No.
Okay, they didn't vote anything at
No.
Steel Nats.
So the HP setups won't be legal. They were, you mean the Black Diamond setup? Is that what you're talking about?
So, I mean, the only thing that changed in the rule book is some bylaw stuff that they voted. And there's a list of that on Old Weird Herald. You can look at what was proposed. Everything passed. That's the only thing that's got to go on the rule book. So if you look at last year's rule book and look at that, that's the rule book. Where's the product list? Like what's approved, what's not approved?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, and again, you brought up the Mazzetti situation. If the chassis now sells for more than the allowed maximum price. And then the maximum price of $3,150 is now even in question because new administration saying we don't want to give 5% increase to the manufacturers, but the old administration rightfully did that, and it can't really roll back because some manufacturers have raised their prices up to the new retail, and now they're going to.
And here's the thing. So where in the bylaws does it say that when someone raises their prices, when somebody raises their price on a chassis, let's say, if they do it 2 weeks before the Nats, is their chassis instantly illegal, or is it back when it was approved or not approved?
According to the rule book, when something no longer meets the rules, and that's part of the rules, meaning the prices, it would become immediately thrown out.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how the rules are.
Yeah, and like we can't get our chassis heat treated, stuff like that, because of that rule. Because we can't change the chassis, or else it would be illegal.
Yeah, because it wasn't submitted that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, let's back up. There isn't a rule book that says surface treatment.
Well, but it is changing the chassis. It's a different chassis then.
Is it going to be a different part number, or different in any measurement?
Well, no, nothing would be different about any of the chassis except it's heat treated. But altering anything is against the rule book. Because we had asked about it, and we were told not to do it. So.
That could be challenged on the surface treatment thing, but that's another story.
Yeah. I mean, we're still gonna have them done, especially. I mean, it is also expensive to have done.
Right.
Whenever you're
Give me a
not
torch and a bucket of
exporting it.
oil. I'll get it done in like 30 minutes.
Oh
maybe
yeah,
But
will
you can
be.
tell,
They'll
you've
be in
done it.
halves too.
Huh?
Yeah.
But you can tell you've done that. And that's
Oh, yeah.
the way
I was being funny.
No, I know.
Yeah, and so we're gonna get some heat treated, and if we have to change part numbers and sell them separate, so be it. But
Let's use the same part number. Just put HT at the end of it for heat treated.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, well, you can do that. Yeah, you can do all that after the Nats.
Yeah, it'd be okay after the Nats. It'd be fine for next year and the years after
Yeah,
that.
just resubmit it, and as long as it meets the
Yeah,
Right.
price.
But okay, back to the Mazzetti thing. Like, if the chassis is selling over the retail price, then it's out. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's not been an official announcement yet, and there should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
if it's legal. Whew.
yeah. I mean, there needs to be an announcement on that as soon as possible because guys are getting ready or trying to get ready for the Nats.
I guess the price increase also includes this 4.5-inch chassis.
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe you
everything
said
went
that,
up.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's what I thought.
technically, none of the Mazzetti stamp steel chassis will be legal for this year. Right? For
Yeah,
this
because I was going to build one to try this weekend. Did you build one? I guess you're going to run your own chassis, right, Walker?
Yeah, I'm running.
All right.
I
I
ran
know you don't. Huh?
I ran the Mazzetti last weekend. It was pretty awesome.
Well, it's the only 4.5-inch chassis out there, other tn now the RN chassis, where you can put the motor down. You know, you have a cutout for the motor.
Well, okay, so to give you an example, like in the Sys series, you're not allowed to run aluminum pans. Okay, so of course you want the lightest car you can build. So at the first Sys race this year, Mazzetti car wasn't out yet. So I went with a Champion with a metal pan. Because, I mean, that's legal. The old Parma Flexi 5 is legal. The JK21 is legal. I don't know the weight difference between a JK21 versus a Champion all metal. I don't know if there's really much difference, if any, weight-wise. I know there's a huge difference between a 21 and a Champion with an aluminum pan, like 20 grams difference, okay? So, I built a new Mazzetti with the lightweight metal pan, steel pan. My car weighed 95 grams, and we weighed a Flexi 5 car, and it weighed 115-ish. And we weighed my Champion all-metal car. It was 115-ish. And we weighed a JK Cheetah 7, the original three-piece, and it was 115. So the Mazzetti car was 20 grams lighter.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the track, my Mazzetti car was a tenth and a half faster than my Champion car. And I don't think it had anything to do with that motor being cut out and lowered. Like, it's all weight difference. Weight difference. Now, I don't know. I mean, I guess, well, again, with the big hole, you're losing more weight compared to cars that don't have that. So it's a weight thing.
I remember in our development stages, like the first few prototypes that we had cut, they were, I think one of them was 35 thou metal instead of 40, but it didn't have the motor box cut out because my dad didn't want the motor box to be cut out because he liked the 21 better than he did all the other ones because it had the solid motor box and he thought it was easier. I was like, okay, whatever. So then we had that cut, and then we had another one cut, and I think it was like 5 gram difference with and without the motor box. So that's a pretty big difference.
Right.
Especially in that end of the car, you know.
Yeah. And sure, we played around with like where holes were for weight distribution to allow so that maybe we could make the balance better. And just having that full there just killed the balance of the car. Yeah, absolutely just killed it.
See, the problem in like Sys, I couldn't run your chassis because you have to run 740 fronts.
Yeah. Which we're coming out with a pan that you can run big fronts.
Bigger fronts.
Yeah.
Does your uprights connected to your pan?
Mine? Yeah. They're connected to the pan.
So your uprights are on the pan, not the center section.
Yes.
Okay, the Mazzetti's on the center section.
How was
Yeah.
the front end
Oh, wow.
on your Mazzetti? Was it tweaked a little bit?
We,
Because like I noticed on mine, where the pan goes into the uprights for the front,
yeah.
there's no movement. It pinches it tight.
You want to know how to fix that?
Sure. I mean, you got to straighten it, don't you?
Without grinding on the chassis? Basically, what you got to do is, you know how the uprights,
Or octagon.
yes, they're like a Y, and then they go straight up.
Yeah.
You need to bend the Y up a little bit, and then bend those uprights out to where they're straight again, and then that'll have your movement. But
Yeah,
supposedly in
and-
future stampings, that will be fixed, because that's not a real crisp form.
Yeah.
It's not like bend, snap, bend. It's like kind of just like almost like a radius.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whenever that
Already.
whenever chassis were shown for that, and we saw that it was on the center section, we knew it was instantly a good idea, especially running like the same pans. That's great for him. You know, that's a great idea, but it was too late in our development stage.
Well, I don't know if there's any advantage of having the uprights on the pan versus a center section.
It just makes it to where he can run the same pans on his 4-inch and 4.5 bars.
Oh,
That's
right.
the big thing.
Well, that was
That's
the
the
whole
big thing.
yeah. That was the whole idea behind. I mean, for him to make a 4.5-inch car was pretty simple. Just take a 4-inch center section and stretch it out.
Yeah.
And
mean, that's what we
uprights on
did.
it.
See, I also like too, like on his, he didn't bring the wings out real far. It's almost like you narrowed up the wing.
Yes, because a lot of the 4.5-inch bodies aren't
Wide nosed.
3 millimeter, right?
Uh-uh.
In most places, you can only be 3.25 inches wide on your stock car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's all these different like we talked last week, the 4.5-inch class.
Yeah.
Just
So
kills
many
me, because when I go, and it's the rules, I got to deal with it. But I go to assist race and I got to run a metal pan and 740 fronts and 16th clearance in the rear, and okay,
One
fine,
of them had a front end clearance, didn't they?
and 15 thousandths at the front of the wings.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, when I go to USCA, 812 fronts, 812 rear, 16th clearance, aluminum pans, okay, but 25 thousandths clearance behind the front axle under the chassis.
It's almost like, hang on, the weight you lose running aluminum pans, you gain in running bigger tires.
Yeah, I guess. And then if you go to USRA, well, it's 50 thousandths clearance, no rear tire diameter, aluminum pans, no
You
front.
get a rear tire diameter, don't you? Or did they change
Yeah.
that?
Did they change that?
Not in USRA.
No.
US right, you had to run a
Yeah.
790.
Okay. I guess you still got to run 790. Okay, so
Yeah.
but you put your offset oil lights in and get. I mean, again,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
and you run 675 fronts, which they're just on there for show looks.
Yeah.
Fronts aren't even
Always.
functional.
Right.
And then you go wherever else in race and you have different. I mean, it's just crazy.
No, that's just like the one year you were going to USCA and you were asking me, you got any 4.5-inch cars ready? It's like, yeah, I got like 4. Then we got to talking measurements, and it's like, yeah, you might as well just go ahead and build a car. I don't have nothing like that. You know?
Yeah, and like USCA insists when they tech the cars, the guide flag is not in the slot, so
You
you
gotta hang it
have
off.
to roll on your fronts like a retro car in those 2 series.
Right.
With USRA, and then you go Ohio Oval Series racing, and they got 625 minimum fronts, which again are just on there for looks,
Right.
and 50 thousandths clearance, no minimum rear tire diameter, aluminum pans fine, but it's like you have to build different cars for each group.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
No
Well,
thanks.
like in 4-inch, I can take my 4-inch GTP car and go to Ohio Oval Series and run it as a dirt late model by just flipping the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you run your dirt bodies or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I remember showing up with a race with your dirt bodies. That was fun.
Yeah, those are
Yeah,
those are frowned upon here and there.
Yeah,
here's a
yeah,
question
it's-
for you.
Okay.
Slightly on topic. What's up with Parma not making 7,000 dirt bodies anymore?
Parma got out of 7,000 bodies completely.
Oh,
Yeah, nothing's.
because those are the body to run in dirt late model and mid
Ours
south. Is
are
the
true
outlaw.
7th thou.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Yours are true 7,000. Theirs were closer to 5. Some of them.
Well, yeah, Parma dropped all their 7,000 bodies. I mean, basically, they just quit buying 7,000 material. They're not making 7,000 bodies.
Darn it.
So
Get you a back pour.
Yeah, new out of sight body coming out next week. Please.
Just run the out of sight body, and you'd be done. Just be done with
It's
it.
not
can't
legal.
Mid-South. Yeah, you can't Mid-South, thanks to me.
Wait a minute. I thought there was. I thought there
Really?
was
Yeah.
that rule where they let other things run that weren't legal.
Hang on, I gotta plug in. I'm about
No,
to
that
lose
wasn't
off.
Mid-South. That wasn't Mid-South.
Was it?
No.
Oh boy.
No, Mid-South, the rules on that, the only iffy rules, like the scale bodies.
Well, Shane.
There's a lot of iffy rules.
Yeah, but that's the
Don't-
iffiest.
Don't get me fired.
What race did you go to not too long ago in the 4.5-inch scale
Mad
body?
Fast.
No, it was
It was a
the
mid-south.
Mid-South. The Mid-South rules. You have a body list.
Yeah.
And years prior, we've always kept the 4.5-inch scale class as close to the national rules as possible.
Yeah.
And then we went to some race, and I looked at Timmy, and I was like, dude, that body's not on the – I think you ran it. I'm not being mean. We're just
No,
telling the truth.
I think which body?
You
was
ran
it?
you ran a Toyota, a JK Toyota body. And I was like, that
No,
body
I ran a JK Ford. I ran a JK
was
Ford.
it? I knew it was a
Yeah.
JK something. I was like, dude, that body's not legal. And he's like, oh, yeah, it is. And I'm like, where is it in the rules? You know, and I guess the race prior to that I didn't go to was one of those.
It was voted into any scale body other
And
than
I told him
the Ford Fusion with the extra little wing on the back that Ron
Yeah.
had made.
Yeah, that's
Every
the only
body
one.
except for that is legal, is what
Yeah.
Timmy wanted. So that's
Right.
it's fine.
And by God, if we're in the next race with an out-of-sight dirt late model body and let democracy rule.
See,
Look.
wait a minute, I got some. No, what happened was
Yeah, I have something.
what had happened was we used to run dirt late model with contender motors.
Yep.
Wow.
And then that's back when Trace was still here. And me and Trace showed up to a race because Trace was like, dude, if you run one and I run one, that kind of gives us more leverage. I'm like, I'll run. I don't care. You know? And the bad part about it was we were in Anderson on the Anderson Oval. You remember that oval, Ron? I
Hell
think
yeah.
you probably remember.
Yeah,
Oh, we were ripping.
we own
They're
that.
all- Yeah, y'all own it now. Yeah.
Storage.
And it was just, yeah. That's a lot of that going on. I was like, show me the rules where we can't run it. You know?
Yeah.
So we ran that season with those bodies. And hey, by God, next season.
Yeah, I remember the end of that season. I think that was the first time me and my dad went to a Mid-South race. Was the championship race in Franklinton?
I think so.
Yeah, that was the first race we went to because dad wanted a race, and that was like the first year we were open or second year we were open.
I think I was
I
the
remember-
president then. I think.
I don't remember.
Okay, so I have a question and a topic.
Okay.
Is the North versus South / Rebel series, is that still going or not?
Not currently.
Okay. That was my question.
It's too busy.
My topic is, me and Walker talked about this a little bit before the show,
Oh boy.
is round robin races versus split main races. And what is everyone's take? Or I mean, okay, I'll just explain I'm just going to go here. First of all, if you run all round robin races, that's fine. That's your rules. I can deal with it. I think split mains are better in the long run. Like, for example, this weekend, all the races were ran round robin. We had 14 to 15 guys in a class. So for example, with 14 guys, you have 6 turn marshals. Okay. If you would have split mained it 7 and 7, you'd have 7 marshals. A lot of people have problems with round robins of keeping track where they're at in the race. Okay.
That's my problem.
Okay. So like
Yeah.
when you have a round robin race and you've got 6 sit outs, okay, it's hard to keep track
Yeah.
of
You
where
gotta
Unless
keep
they're-
it in your head and all that.
Unless you
crap.
got a good race director pulling up the averages, which I like in between each heat, and it shows who's
Yeah.
well, and-
projecting to be
still
first.
doesn't
That's
help.
better.
right. And see, the problem was they didn't turn the projected on, so when you looked at the projected, it was actually actual.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not knocking or complaining it. It's just the way it was. In some tracks you go to, you have software or lap counters that will give you averages or projections, so you know where you're at by looking at that.
yeah.
But when there's a 2-minute in between break and you're trying to pitch your car and do everything, you don't really get a chance to go over and study that and say, okay, I'm here or there. So I know a lot of places run around robin to save time. And I can understand that. But like me and Walker was talking, okay, if you run a 14-man round robin with your on time and your lane change time, that's 54 minutes. Okay. That's with no track calls. That's if you turn the track on for the start of the race, because you got 14 2-minute heats, that's 28 minutes. And you've got 13 lane changes at 2 minutes apiece. That's 26, so that comes out to 54 minutes. If you ran 2 split mains, you'd have 16 minutes of 8 heats, 2 minutes each. And you'd have 14 minutes of lane changes, which comes out to 60 minutes.
Hell.
Or 30 minutes. So if you run 2 mains, that's 30 minutes versus 54. You have 1 more marshal per race. Now, I'll give you a little background. Years ago, when like we were racing retro cars, 10 years ago or so, most of the races we go to, we would just draw the hat for, say you had 24 guys. There'd be 8 ones, 8 twos, 8 threes in a hat or whatever you pull out. Okay, you're in the C main or you're in race number 3. And then we do random. We just put them in and just you didn't know
Yeah,
what
it's
lane
just
you were
what
going to
I-
start on. Okay.
When I started Mid-South, that's how it was.
Okay. So you'd have really good drivers versus really bad drivers and in between drivers all in the same race. I personally think that helped me become a better racer because you can learn to deal with traffic and stuff. But the complaint we got was the slower guys felt like they couldn't race or concentrate on racing because they were more worried about the faster guys kind of looking over their shoulders. Up here he comes again. I got to let him go. Stop to let him go and stuff like that. So we eventually went to qualifying and then splitting the mains up by speed. And everyone liked it better. The racing got better. The racers got better because they learned how to race because they weren't looking out for faster guys running over them or whatever. Faster guys were happier because they're not running into slower guys.
Yeah.
The slower guys are taking them out. And the marshalling's more fair because you got the same marshals marshaling the whole race. Versus like a round robin, the marshalling sometimes is not fair.
Right.
Because you can be on the track longer with bad marshals versus a guy could be on the track with the better marshal. So I guess I've said what I wanted to say. I mean, I think the positives outweigh the negatives when it comes to split mains are better than running a big round robin. I mean, if you got 20 guys and you want to run 2 10-man round robins, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when you start talking sit-outs of 4, 5, 6 sit-outs.
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't like
bigger than
not
that.
knowing where I am. Yeah.
And the biggest sit out I've been in was at Lions Raceway in Randleman. We had 4-inch NASCAR class, and there was 19 entries, and we did it as round robin.
Oh, that's nothing. We were at Shannon's, Shannon had 26 on the travel and Bush round robin.
There you go.
Golly.
That
Yeah,
was
no.
a long
So you said-
sit out.
Set out 18 heat.
Ooh, there we go. Here's one.
That's no fun.
You
It
check
was-
this one out, Russell. You remember this one, Walker? 109 when they did the vintage retro.
Oh, that was terrible. You sat out.
I raced 7 heats, and I didn't come back in until the last heat. So whenever I was done racing my 7 heats and set out, it was 9:30, and I did not come back in to finish my last heat until 3:30 that morning.
That was a race and a half
Oh
right
my
there.
I
God.
took a nap. Bobby's like, "What are you gonna do?" I was like, "I'm gonna be in the corner sleeping." He's like, "You're gonna sleep," and I'm like, "I got nothing else to do."
We got there like 20 minutes before race time because
All right.
it's my dad, and so
Yeah.
we always get there way late. And so we didn't practice like at all. And so then we're there for 3 hours until we actually get to race. Then of course we just tear everything up on earth. I think Dad pulled his car off after like 4 heats because he just tore it up too much.
Now the question, well,
Yeah, go ahead.
well, the
Well, I was just
question,
gonna say I'm not a big fan of not qualifying. You know, like this Mid South race we're going to
Well,
this
so that-
weekend, they don't qualify.
well, so that's the thing too. Okay, so now, okay, so you're going to run split mains. The only way to split them properly or correctly or is you qualify.
Yeah.
So you make the day a little longer. But
Right.
I think overall, and in the long term, in the big picture of things, you're going to make your racing
Yeah.
better
I mean, one
And
thing they
that's
could
for
do.
everybody involved.
One thing for Mid South is you could take an average, which class had the least amount of entries. You know, drop that class and see if it averages out, letting us qualify. Because you don't have to qualify a minute; you can qualify 30 seconds.
Yes,
see,
30 seconds. I can't stand a minute qualifying. That's
And another benefit of running split mains is you get more winners in a day too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's also
it means something to make the B main if you've always been in the C, or it makes something
Well, I
to
mean-
make your first A main. I remember
Right,
when
yeah.
I made my first A, just making it was a huge thing for me.
Right.
I'm not an A main person, so I can't talk about A mains. I'm always a
Oh,
B.
you've won plenty of A mains.
No, I'm not. I'm a B man guy. I win every B main.
Well,
Unless I break
you
it
know,
up.
down at Durham, he was in both B mains, but I mean, he finished
Yeah.
second overall out of the B main.
Yeah. I mean, you know, nothing against anyone, but like you said, you know, we go one year to Mark's Model World. George was in the C main.
Right.
The following year, we told George, you know, you've gotten better. Just, you know, your cars are good. He was in the B main, and him doing good and being in the B main was like he made the A main,
Right.
you know, and
Right.
stuff. I mean, it's just, it
That's-
depends on the person. I mean, you know, I always tell people set realistic goals,
Right.
you know.
And I think when you have the B main winner, the B main podium, and an A main podium, that's good. Like
Yeah.
you got more winners. I mean,
You
Yeah.
beat the 7 other guys on the track. I mean, that's an
Right.
accomplishment.
That's
Yeah.
a race by
Absolutely.
itself.
I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately, you want to win the race or overall. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's no greater thrill than winning a B main and running more laps in that B main than them guys in the A main did, and you're the winner.
Yeah.
That almost happened. That
Hey,
would
we
be
went
great.
to a retro race like a year ago, and this was the only time I've ever seen this happen. But 1, 2, and 3 was the winner of the A was first, the winner of the B was second place, and the winner of the C main was third place overall.
Well, it's
wow.
just like at the Nats.
That was like,
Remember, I was in the C main in GTP, and you were like, "What's going on?" And I was like,
Tires.
"I couldn't figure out tires," and I, you know,
right.
You gave Bobby the special pair of tires.
no. Bobby gave me a pair of tires to try, and then he seen how fast I went. He was like, "Give them back."
Take them back.
All right.
But yeah, but you okay, so where'd you wind up finishing out of the C main? Third?
Fifth.
Fifth.
But the first 3 heats of that C main, it was kind of filling the car out because the tires weren't,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And then I think by the fourth or fifth heat, I was like, I need to go now. And I think you even told me you need to go. You
Right.
know? So I was like, all right. And then, you know, it could have went either way because I was thinking, well, it kind of sucks I'm in the C main because this could be brutal. But the guys in the C main, where there's surprisingly a very clean race. They were letting me go. They weren't in the way. I kind of think they knew, hey, this guy don't really belong in the C main. Just qualifying to go well, you know?
Yeah.
Because I
It
think
was
I
like-
came off once and you were like, did something happen to your car? And I was like, no, I dialed choke in so I can just get heat in the tires. And then I
Right.
think I yelled at Roger. I was like, hey, let me know when it's like 30 seconds or 20 seconds so I can see if I can go. And I think the quickest I got it was like a 3:30, which wasn't enough. I was still in the C main,
Right.
you know.
Um,
The best part about it was I got to race first to get that out of the way.
Right. Right.
I remember whenever I ran 132nd Euro, I was so happy I made the A. I didn't care I was last pick in the A. I was so happy I made the A main.
Right.
It was like the biggest thing ever for
They
me.
ran on the Centipede, didn't you?
The red track.
The
Yeah.
monster. The monster.
Yeah, the red mon. Okay.
Yeah. The older of the two flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The monster.
That track was super fun with those cars. Yeah, me making that A main was like everything to me. I didn't care where I finished. I think I finished like 6th or something.
Oh, I know. Your dad was walking around with the car. Look at these little things. Look at them.
Yeah.
Oh, those things are beautiful. Those
It
chassis.
was just funny because, you know, Randy, he's goofy as it is. And he's like, look, look
Yeah,
at the tires,
look at
you
this
know.
little thing. Yeah.
But still, I mean,
So
and then in your sport, you were in the B main, but didn't you finish in the top 8 overall?
Yeah, let me think. I didn't run 124th. F1 Euro
We all
Sport.
know.
F1 Euro, I finished ninth, I guess. I was a lap off of making the move up to the A.
Okay.
And then in GT12, I think I finished 5th or 6th out of the B. And I remember production, the warm-up race, I spun a pinion in qualifying because my dad insisted he puts on the pinion. Okay.
Oh,
So he puts on the pinion,
You're fired.
and then going to qualifying, spins it after like 30 seconds. I was so mad.
Did you your famous dad?
Yeah. Well, I was hot. So then somebody told me to just ask Gugu to put the pinion back on for me. And so whenever the warm up starts, I grab my
I fix
car.
for you. No problem.
I grab my car, run it over to Gugu. Gugu solders the pinion back on. And then in like the first heat, somebody comes off in front of me and I hit him and the interior sucks up and it blows up the motor, which is Russ's motor. And so it smokes and it like barely moves, but I still ran the whole race on it and won the B and finished like 3rd or something.
Russell's like, that's what happened to that motor.
Nah,
yeah,
he
that
didn't.
thing was junk when I got it back.
Yeah, it was that Cayman setup, right?
Did you
Yep.
spike it?
No,
No spiking allowed.
I remember
no spiking.
the other motor he sent with me to run an amateur GT12.
Yeah, you blew
Uh,
that thing up in practice.
The bearing fell
came
apart.
apart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
so
bearing
you were
fell.
bouncing it off the dead man.
Nah, I wasn't.
Yeah, you were.
That wasn't the GT12. That was the GTP.
So what is the fine for spiking in the NFL? $100 or something?
And what? Oh, they just had one. What game was that? Was that the Panthers game or?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was the Panthers and.
It's like $100 fine or $150 fine or something.
Wow.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
not. It's
It's
not enough.
nothing to them.
Guys love doing it and paying that fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a $25 fine if you take a hammer to a motor.
Is that?
Yeah,
However
'cause
much.
you got to spend that much to buy
Yeah.
it.
Exactly. I was getting my money worth.
What's that? What's that offense called?
Hammer time. I don't know. Yeah.
Sponsored by Mike Parker.
So, nah, he does the bodies.
Yeah, I know, but it's still hammer time. Come on.
Yeah.
I've seen
Sponsored
Shane.
by Mike Parker. There you go.
I seen Shane heat treat a motor one time.
No, yeah. Well, that's the thing is, Ron gets to see all the different mood swings I go through in a day now.
I did that to a pile of retro Hawks, like 10 or
The
15.
Flexi Flats was the best. Because every time I think Ron looked at me, you just had your smile on your face, like, yeah, yep. Just like, oh boy,
Hey, we'll leave that one alone for a while.
yeah.
All right.
Didn't hit anything with a hammer, but yeah, I was done after that week.
So are all three of you off to Moxville this weekend?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm either going to be in the car or on the box.
Say
Or
that
both.
again.
I'm either going to be racing
Oh,
in the car or I'm going to be on the box. Crew chiefing.
okay. But doing your homework.
Oh, I'm going
Yeah,
to do my
you got to
homework.
make sure you do your homework.
So,
Cool. Anything
racing?
else? Am I racing?
yeah.
No,
Are
I'm
you
off.
off the rest of the year?
I'm off to, yeah, I'll see you next year.
Awesome.
I
Dang.
think this is the last one for all of us this year, except for
Yeah.
Walker, who races every day.
Yeah.
Well.
You know, Walker could,
Yeah, I race a Trinity every Monday night in NASCAR.
you know,
come on.
Walker could be the winningest driver in slot race.
His head's big enough. Let's not make it any bigger.
I'll go back in our Facebook page and scroll back for 5 hours and try to figure that one out. We have books from when we opened in 2010 to 2015 of all race results.
Well, see, now it starts all over because it's been moved.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Because I don't know too many people that race as much as you do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't race a ton, but whenever I found that Trinity chassis, I don't race every week. Look, if I raced every week, there'd be a lot of.
But for there's been periods where you've raced every race every week.
Well, okay. So hard body cars, those hard body cars are fun. So
Yeah.
they're slow, but they're fun. So
Yeah.
I like racing them whenever I can.
Hey,
So say if we have 8 guys, I'll race because then there will be a sit out, and so then there will be a marshal all the time so that I can race. That's basically my excuse to race is that there's 8, I'm racing. Okay, because I'd much rather race than marshal the whole time. I mean,
so how many classes did you race Monday night?
just one. We didn't race production because everybody left.
Okay.
Didn't
How much
wanna
ice cream do
drive
you
up
eat a
price.
week?
Not
Buy one, get
actually
one.
not much. Actually not much. I probably go there once a week, maybe twice a week. It depends. Flexi Flats week,
Oh,
I
It's
went
going
sometimes
up.
3 times a week. Well,
Flexi Flats week, I went like every day. Let's be honest. But
it would be
I would-
hard for me to stay out there every day if I was. Living.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
I
yeah.
love ice cream. I could go for ice cream right now.
I know
So
it closed at 8, so I can't run up there and get it right now.
all right. So you walk out of the mall. It's the ice cream store, the skank bar, the guitar store, and
Breakfast.
Coffee shop.
You get coffee from the Cuban place.
Oh yeah, and then there's the Franks. You can't forget about Franks. Big Franks.
okay.
Oh, now it's Big Frank's.
Then you got the Italian. I call it the Italian restaurant across the street.
Gianni's is what it's called. It's called Gianni's.
That place is great.
And
Gucci's.
what's the bar across the street? The pinball bar or something?
It's called the
Game room.
Basement.
Is it the basement?
Yeah, the Basement. It's really cool. That's definitely the second coolest place on the street because we're automatically the
Other
coolest.
than the slot car track.
Oh,
Yeah, other than the
oh.
Now, have you had food from the basement?
No, I don't think there's any food in there. I'm not sure. They have alcohol.
They got pinball machines in there.
Oh yeah, they got
Like
a lot
the
of
old school
arcade
ones?
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got Pac-Man.
We're going next
I
time, Shane.
don't remember.
Russ
We're
is,
going next time, Shane, definitely.
Oh yeah. Because if they got like the old school pinball stuff.
and Russ's
Yeah,
favorites
it's-
out back, Whataburger.
Yeah. What?
Oh, no. That's a
That's
whole other
the-
I haven't
story.
ate there yet.
This is the
I tell
southern.
you
part.
That
where
is
the
not a
places-
real Whataburger. Anybody
It's a
from
good one,
Texas can tell
It's
you.
good. It's
No,
good.
well, it's not bad, but it's not the Whataburger.
I like that Whataburger.
I like Troutman's. It's
Yeah,
down the
Troutman's
road.
is nice. Yeah, it's
good.
within a couple miles. That place is nice too. Barbecue. It's the barbecue over there. That barbecue.
What?
I was about to say, what the hell are you saying?
Secret word of the show.
He sounds like he's from New Orleans there.
The barbecue.
The barbecue.
I guess it can be called that barbecue.
Or in his case, it's the Babaco.
Barbecue.
Oh,
Are you-
Yeah. Yeah. The co-champion over here.
Babaco.
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Just so that everybody knows, that's not how I say barbecue. Okay. So, okay.
And don't ask
Clean
me to
that
order
up.
water for anyone because I apparently can't ever say water right. So
Water?
yeah, it's water.
Good old water.
Water with 2 R's.
Water.
That's it.
Water.
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 Okay, so what's the favorite word going to be? Spike or barbecue?
I
I
can't
feel
even
like
It's
spell
like-
barbecue would be hard to spell because it's not going to be BBQ.
bumblebee tuna.
So we going with Spike?
Yeah, we'll go spike.
Heck yeah.
All right, secret word is Spike. So as a closing show reminder, you need to go on the Between the Lanes Facebook page and look for the Christmas post and follow directions and get registered for the Christmas giveaway next
You
week.
said follow directions.
Follow
Boy.
directions.
He lost me there.
And follows directions, let's be honest.
Yeah. Do we have to share to our page, or could we just like it on some?
Well, you know what? It can be. I'm going to share it elsewhere, but you're going to have to like it on Between the Lanes because I'm not
On the
going.
original, the
I'm not going
originality.
to go to 9 pages trying to figure out who all likes something here or there.
Speaking of directions, my very first slot car, the Flexi 2 ready to run,
Yeah.
had instructions inside of it. Did you
Oh, yeah.
write those, or did you have anything to do with those? Because I read them 10 times as a kid. That was the greatest thing ever. I thought I had made it in
Okay.
slot car.
So
Did you run the motor mount on the motor?
Oh, gosh, I don't even remember. I just love those square bushings. I thought that was cool.
So the Flexi 2 was a project that I was involved with before I left Parma, and wow, I'd have to see the instructions to say for sure. I mean, there was when you were like doing the whole car thing, there was so much stuff involved from the start to the end, and I'm sure I'm not gonna say I wrote those instructions, but I probably had input on them, and it was probably part of proofreading of whoever.
I mean, if you
I'm
think
sure
about
that
the
I wrote a
Flexi
major
2,
portion of them, but I don't remember exactly.
I just thought about this. For the Flexi 2 for the chassis of its time had a lot of adjustability in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The spars, the square bushings, and then you had the bite bar to where you could adjust the pan forward and back.
Yes.
There was a lot of really
Cool
good
chassis.
thinking in that. If you think
Well,
about that chassis.
We tried to give everybody a good bang for their buck. And there was
Do you have any more of those chassis, Walker? And then y'all's stock of stuff y'all bought over the
What, Flexi 2s? Yeah. Yeah, we've
Dude.
got some brand new, yeah.
I guess-
4.5?
Yeah, 4.5.
If they weren't, heavy as a brick, they probably you could probably take that idea and make it better.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind just owning one just to have, because that's like slot car history for me.
We've got 2 Flexi 4s in the bag, 4-inch cars.
I never ran those.
Flexi 4. They were coming out with
What
chassis.
do those even look like?
Yeah, I know. They came out with chassis so
Yeah.
quick there for a while. I couldn't.
Yeah, I was just like, I know the Flexi 2, then I know the Flexi 5. Is it the Flexi 5?
Flexi
And I'm
3,
not-
of course.
yeah.
Okay, so just a real quick little history now that you open that door. The
Hang
Flexi
on, let me turn the fan on.
the Flexi car
Good now.
was like the original Flexi car. And
That's the Farmer 1.
Parma really never had any competition until JK came out with the original Cheetah, which was a 2.
That was a good chassis.
Yeah. But it was
Soldered motors in it.
huh?
Couldn't solder motors in it. That nickel plated stuff that they use.
Yeah, I think they got straightened out over time, but
Yeah.
the Cheetah chassis was a little bit heavier than the Flexi car. Okay, so when all the world was Flexi cars, some of us didn't know how bad Flexi cars really handled because we all had to learn to race them.
Mhm.
And then when the Cheetah car came out, a lot of guys went better and faster with that because it was heavier, because they could drive it harder and it stayed on for them and stuff. Like I always said, the Flexi car is like a finesse car. Like you could never really ever hammer it, but if you could drive it smooth and everything and hustle it, it was a fast car. So JK came out of that, and then pretty soon, and again, I'm not in any particular order, but then the next car that was heavier and pretty good handling was the original Spider from Slotworks.
That was the Black Trinity one.
Well, they were nickel plated in the early going.
Right. I'm trying to
The
think.
front bumper, and then they offered a version without the front bumper.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we
they-
used to cut those off and run them.
Yes, and then the black car you're referring to was the Spider,
Yeah.
or Spider 2, or whatever.
Yeah, because it was 4-inch and 4.5.
And those were pretty good cars, but the original Spider was heavy and handled really good. And,
That was the one that had the guide ring
yeah,
or
and,
guide guards. Okay.
yeah, and then the other one was the Champion Astro XE,
Yeah.
the original Champion.
You remember the 4-inch Gambler chassis?
Yes, that was like an offshoot of the Scorpion or the Spider, the original Spider, in the Euro toy chassis. But those 4 cars were way better for beginners than a Flexi car would. So it was like, okay, we need to come up with a car that's faster than all of them and is faster than the Flexi car. Well, it was hard to do because a good driver could still go way faster with a Flexi car than those other cars.
Yeah.
So after a lot of prototypes and testing and stuff, we took Mike McDowell and Gary Owens to the track. Me and Steve Kep got to the point like, Flexi, this is Flexi 2, this is it. Okay. Ken says, is it faster? I said, no, I can drive the Flexi car faster than I can this car because of the weight difference. Well, it's not faster. That's not what I want. Well, but it's faster for the average person. So we went to the track. We took Mike and Gary. And, of course, I could go faster with Flexi car. I gave them the Flexi car. They ran. We got their lap times. Then we put the Flexi 2 on, and they went like half a second faster with the Flexi 2.
Much more forgiving.
Flexi car.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's faster in one aspect than the other. So, when we designed it, we came up with a square bushing thing to change the wheelbase and the ride height and positions to move the pans, and it had the double forks in the back for the. And then Jim Honeycutt, he was the one behind the screw-in motor bracket for the end bell, so the motor wouldn't shift forward, crash. But most racers would take that off and throw it away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for out of the box, put on the track, that was a great little piece on that car.
Yep.
Your dad just dropped some.
Stayed forever. Yeah.
He dropped the
I don't know
hubcap?
what he
Sounded like a
dropped, but
hubcap.
You didn't hear his? Yeah, it sounded like. I know that sound from race
I will
car shop.
say,
Clang, 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 clang. Someone just dropped something on that in the shop.
All right. So thank you for coming on the show, Russ.
Enjoyed it.
So maybe we'll see you next week. Maybe we won't. I don't know. If you want to come back, you can come back. Because I'm sure the Moxville report will be very interesting.
Are
you done?
No.
Tell him we are almost done.
That's secret information. Wait for this to be over.
It could definitely be interesting.
Just hang on.
Oh, your mama's going to slap the fool out of you.
Is that a raccoon?
All right. So
She might be. I don't know.
next week, next Wednesday, 8 o'clock, episode 71, Christmas giveaways and Moxville report. Shane's homework is due. And
I like it.
secret word of the show is Spike.
Like,
And get down to the skank bar and get you some Bobo Q. Right, Walker?
Yeah, like a bubble cool.
Barbecue.
Bubble cool.
All right, so if you're going racing this weekend, be safe. Good luck. Have fun. And we'll see you next week. So everybody's out of here.